Welcome back to Talk the Walk. With me now is Dr. Allan Zeman, Chairman of the Allan Kwai Group. Thank you very much for speaking with us, sir.
Pleasure to be here.
Okay, I know that you've been a big advocate, staunch advocate of economic integration between Hong Kong and the mainland. I just want to get your take on the latest PMI number of mainlands. So the latest figure suggests that the manufacturing factory activities in mainland is slightly missing estimates. Now analysts say that suggests that the mainland economic activities had maybe passed its peak. How do you think that all of that figures, signals mean for Hong Kong's economic rebounds post-pandemic?
I think the numbers, the PMI numbers, they're just slightly lower, and because as the world was going through crisis all over the world, the economies all over the world were really very, very bad. China was the one bright light in the world economy. And I think that, and as well, a lot of it had to do with PPE that was being exported from China around the world. As the virus has kind of peaked in many countries, some of the PPE shipments have really gone down a bit. People aren't ordering the way they did. But honestly, I've got businesses in China. Businesses are still doing very, very well. People are going out, spending money, no mask, really enjoying themselves. And so I think that once the border opens again, the travel back and forth between Hong Kong is part of China, the integration between businesses in Hong Kong, tourism, and Hong Kong people going to China, China people coming to Hong Kong. I think once the borders open again, that's a big, big number. And I really think that Hong Kong businesses can then start breathing again. And as we had 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when so many mainlanders were here, Hong Kong people complained there's too many people. At the moment, I think they wish they were back again. And so I honestly believe that it'll be fine. I mean,
you're very optimistic.
Yes, I am. If I was worried about Hong Kong or about China, I would say it. But no, I really think that the key is really, at the moment our GDP is getting better, but it's just re-exports, based on re-exports, that kind of thing. But it's not really benefiting so much. I can tell you one thing: in the F&B business, the last few weeks, business has been very, very good, as you all know. You probably tried to book a restaurant, and they're mostly all full at the moment because there's a good and a bad thing, because people can't travel out of Hong Kong. So in essence, the business is staying here, and they're going out and spending what money they have because no one can travel.
You pledged your support for the national security law legislation, and I'm asking this question on behalf of many Western observers on Hong Kong affairs. Why didn't it concern you that the legislation could smother business confidence and foreign investment in Hong Kong?
Well, I think that I've done a lot of media recently, and I've said that Hong Kong was stuck. In the past, LegCo is an engine that basically passes bills that can really affect everyone in Hong Kong, their life in Hong Kong, so that bills can get passed to make their life better, whether it's to build a road or to build housing or whatever it is. But it was stuck for so long because the system actually didn't work. LegCo is like an engine in a car. When the engine is broken, the car's not moving. LegCo was broken for a while because you had the pan-Democrats and the pro-Beijing parties at odds with one another, and everything was always filibustered. Every bill that was supposed to be passed, some took 3, 4, 5 months to get passed. Now we can see with pan-Democrats stepping aside for the time being, bills are getting passed, and really people's lives can get better and better. Hong Kong can get back to business. So I think that in general, I feel that Hong Kong itself is going through a transformation. And I think that Hong Kong itself will get stronger and stronger with the so-called new system. Security law has really brought security back to, it's put a lid on the protests, and once and for all, we can really get back to building Hong Kong to where it used to be. At one time, Hong Kong was here, China was here. Then because we were stuck, China is here and Hong Kong stayed the same. So hopefully we can get back on par now being part of China. And that's really where I want to be. And I think that's the future for Hong Kong. We are part of China. China is the future of the world. I mean, whether people like it or not, they are, not in a negative way, they're overtaking the United States. In 10, 15 years, you'll see China will be #1 in the world instead of #2. And that's what the U.S. is worried about, and the so-called Western countries are worried about. But not in a negative way. China just wants to provide a better life for their people. Hong Kong will grow along with China because of that. And so Hong Kong really has a very, very strong future ahead.
We understand that the business sectors that you represent, and big companies and big investors, they think China is the future. It have giant market, enormous economic potential, and so they want to be more integrated with China and economic-wise. And but you look at young people in Hong Kong, they have grievances. They want democracy. They want freedom. I just feel like the two arguments don't necessarily have to be exclusive from each other, but there's seems to be a gap in between. And the gap is stopping the two sides from reaching consensus. Now, how would you propose?
You're right in that respect. Young people, the reason we had the protests in 2019, young people don't see a future for themselves. They're very, very despondent. They worry. I, for one, am one that says one country, two systems, what Deng Xiaoping came up with in the 80s when everybody was worried about Hong Kong going back to China. Came up with this thing, one country, two systems. Sounded good, but it was never been done before in the world. And I believe for the first 23, 24 years, one country, two systems really went through a lot of problems. There was no national identity. When I was growing up in Canada, every morning as a 5, 6-year-old in school, I'd salute the British flag and sing God Save the Queen. And so you had an identity. In Hong Kong, we had liberal studies. We did not have national education in school. So every country in the U.S., put your hand on your heart to salute the flag and Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Hong Kong, we had nothing. And so that was one of the things people were lost. I didn't know if I'm Chinese, if after 97, I don't know if I'm Hong Kongese, I don't know if I'm British, American. Everybody had their own idea. And obviously it caused confusion, it caused people they want democracy. When you talk about democracy, look at the US system that everybody looked up to before, one man, one vote. I'd say it's a big mess at the moment. That system really has problems, big problems. They even have a precedent now that they talk about the big lie that people don't accept that it was a fair election. I mean, so there is no right system in the world. But China, in the past, when people thought, oh my God, communism is terrible, it's a bad word, people don't have freedom, well, I can tell you, they've taken 600 million people out of poverty the last 4 years, made a middle class. And if you look at a survey that was done in China about 4 or 5 months ago, 86% of the population are happy with their life, love their life. So many people travel. It's a different China. I've been there for 45 years. The system, they have capitalism, they have the Pony Ma from Tencent, Jack Ma, all, Robin Lee, all these capitalists. And then for the middle class and the lower class, they have socialism, But in a way that really helps people. Europe is full of socialism, The U.S. has either capitalism for the Republicans or socialism for the Democrats, but it's divided. In China, everyone works together, and it pulls together. So I'm not saying that everyone has to copy the Chinese system, but it does work with 1.4 billion people. And so, in essence, I believe that really helps Hong Kong, young people are still not trusting. More and more are realizing, I see many, many young people, and I'm in contact with a lot, and they feel that maybe 2019 we were wrong. Maybe we were misguided. Some are now neutral. Many wound up in jail. I feel very bad because it's a lost generation. But now national education is coming in. The future, I call this the new 1997, the second 1997. And hopefully, with the security law, this will help Hong Kong to gain strength, to help young people. Technology, that's something that young people are very, very interested in. Hopefully, now with Lok Ma Chau, with the Shenzhen and Hong Kong combination of building a new center for technology in Lok Ma Chau, it'll be more opportunity for young people. We have 6 of the best universities, top-ranking universities in Asia, and so we can handle R&D. This is something that the government needs to look at now, and hopefully with the new LegCo, the new system, which I know many people are unsure and afraid of the new system, saying, oh, this is not democracy or whatever. Let's give it a chance. Let's see if it makes people's lives better. In Singapore, the laws are much more draconian, but no one says anything bad. The US or other countries around the world don't say a word about Singapore. They talk about Hong Kong because of China, because they worry about the rise of China. And so that to them, they create an enemy, and the media is responsible for a lot of that. It poisons the mind of people. And, and so hopefully Hong Kong young people, some people will leave, and I've seen all these things, but many will come back again. I've seen it in '97. I've seen it many, many, many times. Hong Kong is still one of the best places in the world to live. It's safe, and there's huge opportunity.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I wish we have more time to cover more topics, but thank you for speaking to us.
Pleasure.
And for those who are watching, I'll see you next week right here on Talk the Walk.
And for those that are watching, have confidence. I promise you, Hong Kong will survive better and better.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.